because you can get it done by 5.
Yeah.
Because you actually just never know what's going to happen.
What's
so
gonna
start
happen.
at 10 so that you have the rest of the day to like allow things to like shift and shape. But she doesn't understand that.
It's tough.
Are
Good
you guys-
assistants are hard to find.
Literally, how did I know you
There
guys
you
were talking about assistants?
Ashley
Yeah.
used to run a whole assistant like agency.
Yeah.
Like a pool.
No, not a pool, like a real agency.
Like
an actual
my bad, I'm
like
sorry.
No problem. No pool. I didn't gather.
I was trying to make a joke.
it didn't
No.
hit.
At all. I mean, it hit just differently.
That's why our guest here today is a stylist and not a comedian.
We'll
Ashley.
see. Oh.
Ashley, who do we have with us today?
Well, first of all, we have the first stylist that has been on the show.
Ever.
And that's
Wow,
a big deal.
That's a really. I was going to ask you one of the
yeah.
first times. Thank
You're
you.
the first stylist to be on Ask Ashley, so I have
Yeah.
opened up my
I
stylist
love that.
wings and
She's
It was
also
an honor.
decided
Yeah.
that she
I'm
would
glad to be
introduce
here.
you guys to other people other than herself.
yeah. Menswear stylist, who else but me? Dad?
Right.
No. But we have Brandon Williams. He's a
Yes.
celebrity menswear stylist,
Yes.
creative director.
Yes.
He's also the host of Bleacher Report Street Style.
Street style.
So
Yep.
he's a host as well.
Yes.
So we're kind of traveling in
We are.
parallel lanes,
I
which
love-
is dope to me.
hella dope.
Yeah.
But no, for real.
Yeah.
Some of the best assistants come from the fashion world
Yeah.
because it's literally like you have to figure it out because I cannot go back to my boss without a
Yes.
solution. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we can't
I
go to
can't-
our clients without solutions.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
like
no,
sometimes
it's no, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Huh? What do you mean?
Like, we're-
when my assistant, like sometimes if I have them go out and pull, and like my assistant will tell me she went to a store that I told her to go to, and I know what's there because
Yeah.
I know, but I'm sending you out there.
Yeah.
And you tell me that there was not, they didn't really have anything. Huh?
You might as well tell me, here's what I was able to get.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
it's all in your approach. And like, if
Mm-hmm.
I sent you there, I sent you there with intention. So like, figure it out.
And before you leave, you need to tell me that, and I want
Tell
you.
me
I
that.
want to see what I want to
FaceTime
see
me.
what they don't have.
What they don't have.
Like
Because
I get on a
nothing's
flight
worse.
tomorrow, and the bag can't be empty. But I've had people show up in my house talking about, well, I mean,
I couldn't find
like, all
anything.
right, well, with your paycheck is, well, I mean,
Your paycheck's going to be empty too. How about
Right.
that?
I have an interesting situation, and I want to know how you would handle it because I experienced this, and this is how the stylist that I assisted handled it. But you have your assistants
Yeah.
pull for a job.
okay,
You do the job.
Mm-hmm.
There is a piece of clothing that was there at the fitting that you know was pulled that you saw, but then you had your assistants culminate to sort returns.
yeah,
And then the returns went back.
Mm-hmm.
There is a shoe that is missing.
left or right?
Question time is what happens? Who pays for that shoe?
Well-
You, the client, or the
Is
assistant?
this the first or second offense? Are they new or are they seasoned? I have had this happen
Mm-hmm.
1 or 2 times, and as a courtesy, the kind of guy I am, I'm going to foot that bill for you.
Okay.
That's the cost of the career, right?
Okay.
On your first
situation.
mishandle, okay?
If it's feasible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second
Damn, you guys,
one,
what's a really expensive shoe?
Well, what's feasible? Like, what's the price? What if it's a Gucci? Let's say it's a Gucci loafer, so it's around 1,000.
we're going to talk about it, but
Okay.
I will.
You'll front it.
I got you.
Okay. First time.
First time, but
Okay.
just to teach the integrity and the lesson behind it. So the next time this happens on your watch, because if it happened on mine, I would have to be. I've had a $20,000 situation,
Listen.
and I had to pay for my career with a publication. I had to run that Amex. That was the first time I went that high.
It's
had
nasty,
to
but
do
you
it.
got to do it.
I had
I
Dior
have a
Jordan
story like
stole
that.
out of my car because I didn't lock it and didn't have insurance, renter's insurance that would cover it because it was unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another multiple thousand. So I get it. So the first time I got it. The second time, you might not have to pay for it out of your pocket per se because you may not be able to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to take it out of your check.
Yeah.
Like any other job, that's a fireable offense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When
So-
something comes missing.
and you're not really doing that person a service in their, like if you're mentoring them or whatever, if
Yeah.
you're not teaching these lessons. And unfortunately, it's like people take advantage, like especially young creatives. They tend to like forget the importance behind details, and they think that like this job is all about being fly. It has nothing to do with that, really. So I mean, it does, but
to
like
be fair, y'all be
effortless.
showing up fly.
Yeah, the occupational.
Y'all both came in here
blessing.
in brown pants today.
Yeah, the
It's a
whole
theme.
thing.
That
Brown
was
is
this
the new black.
season's-
Everyone knows
yes,
that.
yes.
No, everyone doesn't. You guys are stylists. Why don't you share the information
Brown
with
is
the rest
the new
of us?
black.
I thought this was
Sorry.
the winter color brown.
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't know it was carrying over to spring.
brown is the new black. It's
Yeah.
all
and
seasons.
I have like you ever play Uno?
Really? Yeah.
You know, like the Uno card is just like the wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my face is. I put on anything, it just works.
Oh look, that is a line. That
Oh,
was
that was a bar, right? You guys
he
know it's
said,
clever
he said,
too.
I don't wear the clothes don't wear me. I wear the clothes,
Right.
baby.
My dad told me that.
Yes.
love that for you.
Obviously.
You're from Ohio?
I am from Ohio, Columbus, to be exact.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, you spend a lot of time in Cleveland now.
Do I?
How you like that great city? Just
Cleveland
saying.
is interesting.
It's
The
gray
my
skies.
main complaint about Cleveland is the lack of nonstop flights.
Oh,
There's
right.
one.
Yeah, the airport's tragic for the
problematic.
amount of business that comes in that city.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why
They've
you should move to
gotta-
New York because we have 3
I
flights
know.
a day to
From
Cleveland.
New York to Cleveland is easy.
I
Easy.
thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've thought about moving to New York?
Yeah,
This is a
Yeah.
great time to do it.
like either there or like Miami.
Interesting.
So I feel like to be in a city like New York or LA and then
Yeah.
to travel to Miami is great in like spurts.
For sure.
But to live there,
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
that people move and do business is so slow.
Yeah, it's
And
like
not-
true South.
Yes, the people working there don't have the same sense of urgency
Yeah.
and understanding that the people in New York and LA have because it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
the shoot is tomorrow.
Facts.
You got to figure out how to get it to me. You're like, people don't
And
have
no
that
one-
in cities that are not New York and LA.
Yeah.
No, that's a fact.
That doesn't exist.
true.
Like,
Yeah.
no, my shoot's in 5 hours. Get it
Yeah.
to me. In
no
LA,
one
they'll be
understands
like,
that besides LA and New York. And frankly, New York is key for that.
Yeah, that gets stuff done like at a different rate
Yeah.
of time. And if I think down in Miami or down in Florida, you have to run into like, oh, when's your photo shoot? Oh, what? How many weeks?
Yeah, you're like,
No,
it's
it's
tomorrow.
what I'm saying.
That's
like,
why
oh
I'm
no,
prepping today.
oh no, like,
and
Yeah.
that's my point. Like, you would be
Yeah.
in Miami losing your mind. Like, no,
yeah, I would have to
Literally.
be way too organized to do that, and I'm just not that.
Well,
right now.
frankly, the job doesn't. You can't.
Allow you to.
No matter how organized you think you are,
Yeah.
someone's gonna call you the day before they need something,
Yeah.
and you have to scramble, regardless
Period.
of how organized you thought your business was.
Facts. That's
Someone's
what I'm saying.
gonna need. They think clothes are magic.
Yeah, they think it's like Jesus on the hill feeding the 5 loaves and 3. You know, it's like I can't make it appear.
dead.
It's crazy.
No, it's true.
I just recently had that problem, man. Sorry, triggered me.
Oh, it's a trigger.
No, fashion stylists and other people that work in the industry are expert problem solvers.
100%.
It is mind blowing because in my 20s, problem solving was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah.
I can't get those shoes.
It shaped you.
Watch. I
Yeah.
bet you I could get those shoes, and you would thrive off of like, this is an unattainable thing. Watch me attain it.
Right.
But I'm shocked because I've outgrown that thrill.
Ah,
As stylists
You can
in your
never outgrow it.
adulthood,
a DNA.
you
situation.
literally continue to live and
Yeah.
thrive off of problem solving under pressure, under time crunches. Like, how do
It's a
you
superhero
maintain
power.
that?
It's a superpower.
How do you maintain that past a decade? Don't you get tired of wanting to solve that in 6 hours? In
Yeah.
24
you
hours?
say that.
Yeah,
But
but
then
you
you're
still
like-
do it.
That's why
Failure.
people come to you, you know?
It's what sets you apart. I think
Yeah.
like there's so many people that try to do our job.
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing that can set you apart is the relationships you build.
For sure.
And then how you execute those relationships
Yeah.
in times of pressure. So for instance, like anybody can find dope shit. That's not hard. Like anybody can find dope shit. I like to say like a lot of people that want to get into styling, like know the difference between styling and like personal shopping.
For sure.
Dope shit is there. A lot of people can do it. I love that. Like, no problem. There's a difference, I think, in the styling business, which is the relationships. And that's
Yeah.
why, like, when I'm sure you get asked this all the time, like, I want to be a stylist. How do I get started?
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, frankly, I did all the shit for somebody who was
shit.
doing the shit that I wanted to do. So if you want to be in this business for longevity, work under someone that's doing what you want to do. Work under them. Do all the shit that they don't want to do. and learn, because that's the shit that will set you apart in the end.
1000%. You're gaining a experience. My dad used to tell me this. He said, experience is not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. Yeah. What you gain in like those circumstances, just knowledge and wisdom that no one ever can take away from you, and your response is really, really customized to who you are. And that is what forms your like business DNA. Like no one's going to respond to the crisis like you. Yeah. And it's like, don't worry about anything else besides executing this high level version of self. Yeah. That's it. Be integral with it. You know, but people don't want to do that, really.
The integrity part.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I would argue that the integrity in people's work ethics, I don't know if it's generation, I think it's Gen Alpha.
Is that what's happening right now?
We went through Y, X, Y. We're at Alpha now. So Gen Alpha doesn't have that mentality.
But I also don't think that they are even conditioned to search for it. There has been more of a light on why you need it in past generations, whereas now the shortcut is more amplified.
It's the shortcut.
Yeah, the shortcut means everything.
Yeah.
If you've been following us for a couple of seasons, you guys know Ashley's start.
Ashley, can you tell me? Look, can you give me because I've been dying to ask you this question. Okay. I have huge respect for your work and who you are, so I just want to say that.
Thank
being
you.
Here.
That's really nice. I appreciate that. I'm from Seattle.
Love Seattle.
I graduated college, didn't know what I wanted to do. I went to work for a local magazine in Seattle, very, very small. And there was like an on-staff photographer, and I had always been into fashion. Like I liked to shop. That's all I knew. Yeah. I liked clothes. I was very drawn to like music videos and like the imagery that I saw. Like that was always a thing for me growing up, because I didn't grow up around a lot of fashion at all.
Got you.
Being in Seattle. So the imagery that I saw specifically in music videos, I was very drawn to it. So when I got this opportunity to work with this magazine, I was like, we should do fashion. And so I started producing literally.
Oh, that's cool.
I say that word now, not knowing what I was doing at the time.
Right.
But I was like, we should get some models, and like I can get some clothes, like
trying to add value.
Yeah, and I was like, we could like shoot it, and so
I
found the models.
So
I went and got the clothes. I found the locations, and we just went out and shot literally like random girls from Seattle that looked like models to me. We like shot them in fashion and then started putting it in the magazine. So then as I did more research, I'm like, this is actually a job I could do. And so I immediately enrolled in FITM.
Okay.
Because that's what I thought I needed to do. Yeah. And I moved to LA. So perfect. Yeah, and I with the intention of being a stylist, and then I started assisting. I really fell into it. That's when I know that my path was already in front of me. Yeah. Like I really like met the right people. Yeah. And I was able to like immediately start assisting some really good stylists. Awesome. So one of the first stylists that I assisted was Dawn Haynes, and she used to dress like, during this time, it was Ludacris, Chingy, Eddie Murphy.
Wow.
She dressed all these men that were at like the top of their fields. And so that's who I learned from. And then just went on from there. Kevin was my very first client.
Love that.
And how you met Kevin, which is one of my favorite stories ever.
I was at a club in LA. At the time, I was just an assistant, but I had business cards. That's how old I am. I had business cards printed, and it said my name. I'll never forget. It was black and red. It was terrible. Anyways, the card, my name, stylist, my number. Very basic. And I saw him, and I was like, that's the guy from Soul Plane. And normal Ashley would never have walked up to him. Drunk Ashley
might do it.
Definitely. And I walked up to him. I was like, hey, if you ever need a stylist, like, here's my card. And I like handed it to him. And at the time, Kevin literally was the guy from Soul Plane. This was the start of his career also. And literally like a month later, he calls me.
Wow.
Literally, he's doing a show for BET. He needs a stylist. Do I want to style him? And I'm like, yeah.
What was that budget like?
It was not good, and I did a lot of bad things.
Yeah, finessing.
I remember one time, this is my worst moment where you talked about losing stuff.
Yeah.
This was my very first job. I'll never forget. BET wanted color. I'm going to give you color.
Imagine that.
Color every night. At the time, like, I had been assisting with Usher, so I understand. I know the people in the stores. So I'm like, oh my God, Versace had this purple jacket. basically $5,000 for this jacket was my entire budget for the 16 episodes or whatever we were doing. And I'm like, I'm going to pull this jacket. He can wear it. I'm going to take it off of him really quick and return it. That's the game when you start out.
For sure.
But,
or when you're going.
Yeah. Or now, depending on the budget. Yeah. Anyways, the point is, this particular day, I literally remember following after him. I'm maybe 5 steps behind him as he's walking off the stage. He used to greet people when he walked off the stage. I'll never forget it. He went in and hugged this woman, and I just saw her face glide onto his shoulder. Glide. It was like a calf skin that like wasn't dyed. It was like, it was this, yes. And so that purple, when I tell you, I wanted to cry. He walked back to the dressing room and I looked at it. It was just makeup all over her. Like her whole face was on his shoulder. There was lipstick, makeup, all the things. And I was like, I'm screwed. I remember taking it to the leather cleaner. Okay. And I was like, what can you do? And he was like, if I dry clean this or put it through our treatment, the whole jacket is going to change color. Damn. Because once we do the treatment, it's like we have to treat the whole jacket to and I was like, oh, I'm fucking screwed. It was $5,000 jacket. I do not. I was making $150 a day. Yeah, what are we talking about?
Yes, exactly.
And I was like, listen, here's the deal. Luckily, Kevin is the guy that he is, which is why we are family to this point. And Kevin was like,
I'll take care of it.
He took care of it.
So and he knows your client.
Yeah, that's my beginnings.
I love that. That's the story.
Yeah. I saw him. I was
what
like,
club
hey.
was it? Just curious.
Boulevard 3.
Wow.
Damn. Not to age yourself.
Well, that was like when I first got to LA.
Me too.
Yeah, when I first got to LA, Guys and Dolls, Boulevard
Guys and
3,
Dolls,
Guys and Dolls.
Guys and Dolls. I used to be in there.
I talked about this earlier today with some other people, and that was a life-shaping moment for me too at a club. I had just gotten to LA. I'll never forget it. It was my birthday weekend, and my ex-girlfriend's friends. She was a Cavs girl.
Oh my God, I remember Cavs.
Yeah, so she
remember Cavs?
She was a Cavs girl.
What was the Taz? I was thinking of
Taz Angels.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they were special. Shout out to wherever they are in life.
What's a Cavs girl?
Cavaliers girl.
Oh, Cavs.
So I was dating
what
this.
What does that mean? She was
a dancer.
Like a dancer?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the NBA.
Because you're from Ohio.
I'm from Ohio.
Got it. I thought you met her here. I was like, how'd you do that?
She's a great girl, and I was moving to LA to do all this and that.
Hold on, sorry. Did you move to LA with the intention of getting into fashion?
Yes.
Yes.
How did you get started?
So, great question. Thank you for asking me. I'm going to give this a real snippet. Yeah. So, I was having a corporate job. Okay. And my brother-in-law.
No, what was your corporate job?
Yeah, I want to know.
Oh, yeah. I was a very high level at my age sales manager.
Where?
For Goodyear Corporate. And I managed like 150 something accounts, specialty retailers like Walmart, Sears, specialty tire shops across the Southeast.
Wow.
And I used to go and consult their tire business about marketing, what they could do to build their business in terms of can we do more marketing on the walls? Can we do more training? Whatever it is. So I took data and I provided solutions, creative ones.
But did you have to show up fly? Did you wear a company T-shirt?
Okay, yeah, great question. I was in some Express pants.
Yeah.
I was in, or maybe even Dockers. It could have been Dockers.
Yeah.
You know, I was based in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina.
This
Dockers,
is what I'm saying.
Dockers flew. When I got my first paycheck, it went from Dockers to Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah.
That was the vibe. In the South, they have what they call, I think it's Belk.
Oh, yeah.
That was where I was going.
Yeah.
Dillard's?
Dillard's.
Bro.
Dillard's is like the South Macy's.
It is. It totally is.
So I'm doing that, and I'm wearing a company shirt, going and telling these people that had businesses that were a lot older than I was how to sell more tires. And it was a really dope job. I got headhunted out of college. I have 2 degrees, and I graduated in 3.5 years. So I was
Where'd you
really,
oh, you're smart.
University of Toledo. And so I ended up there because I went to play basketball at Ohio University. I was on the practice squad, and I was like, this is not happening. These hoop dreams are over. And I remember, like,
At least you figured it out.
no, I remember watching this movie back in the day called Hoop Dreams.
Yeah.
They ruined their life, kind of just trying to drag this dream. And I was like, I don't want to do this. So I kind of gave up basketball, joined the business frat, and threw all of my energy into trying to become a professional. And that's where I landed. It's a high-level job. So my brother-in-law at the time was still Michael Redd. They're still together.
Sorry, for the people that don't know who Michael Redd is.
He's an NBA legend, one of the most decorated sharpshooters in the NBA, one of the first $100 million men. He was a part of the Redeem team, big part of that. And he's just like the dopest guy ever. And I used to really admire his style. And I've always been a stylish person. And at the time, he had a stylist. But this was before Instagram. This was before the dress code really had taken hold. And he was just fly. He was wearing Gucci, like made to measure. He was wearing Lanvin. And I'm like, what are these brands? I'm like,
I was just going to say that. That was your introduction to
it
high-level
was. He had
designer.
Hitch just came out. He was in this high rise in Milwaukee, like floor to ceiling, and he treated my sister like a queen. And he loved God. And so I was like, I want to be just like this dude. And so I started spending my weekends going to like hanging out with him and my sister. And I was fly. So his stylist came up to me and was like, yo, you got to chill out because Michael keeps telling me he wants to dress like you.
But this is like weekend attire because
Yeah,
Monday
weekend
through
attire.
Friday,
Right, so I'm getting like mom
you
energized.
uniformed out basically.
Like I was pulling off a tunnel vibe. You know what I mean? It's game night.
Yeah.
On weekends, like I'm gonna give my best
My
fit all the
whole
time.
extracurricular budget for the month was on one fit.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what happened. I got obsessed with the idea of becoming this. Shout out to Eric Archibald, who was best friends with Gerard McLaren, who both of those guys came from June Ambrose's School of Style in New York. And Gerard connected me with Eric, and Eric was like, yeah, I mean, if you come out here, maybe if it works out, no guarantees. I quit my job, broke up with the girlfriend, and moved to L.A., met Eric at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel for like an interview, and he said at the end, we're family. And the week later, I was in the studio playing intern, listening to Babyface talk about what style direction we were going to do. So that's where I am.
Wow. You aligned with the people that understood who you were.
Yeah, because sometimes we don't know what we don't know.
You knew the spaces you needed to be in.
Yep.
I need to. Cool.
I knew
This
how it
Monday to
felt.
Friday shit is cool.
Yeah, it was that
But
gut
my
feeling.
free time needs to be spent with people like this.
And that's why it's so important for people to really get people out their way and really focus on themselves and understanding who they are, because there's like a miracle waiting for them if they really just dig in. And there's nothing outside of what's going on inside that is bigger than figuring out that puzzle. I just followed that burn inside to like figure out where's home? Where do I feel like I'm accomplishing and progressing in my life? And like in an eager way, kept up at night. You know what I mean? So that's what it was. And thank God.
Thank God. So you took the leap to LA. Boom.
Sinner's paradise.
Did you know anybody here?
No, I only knew the Laker girls that my
Ex-girlfriend,
ex-girlfriend Cavalier girl was going to connect me with.
Oh my God.
And then I knew my best friend was dating his playmate, and he was like, I'm going to connect you.
Damn.
I only knew who I was going to get connected with. One of my best friends that I grew up with, she was also out here working in PR, so that was my web. So I got connected. It was like a favorable situation.
Yeah.
I got connected with like key individuals, but I knew a lot of girls at first, a lot of pretty girls or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was really deflating because, you know, I got little brothered and I was trying to holler, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like trying to
No,
holler.
I'm
and I was
trying
a
to be
pretty
more
boy.
than your
I
friends.
was like trying to holler.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
these girls in LA wasn't looking for
And I'm
that.
trying to pursue fashion, so there was like alternative narratives, and we had to get that together. And so, you know, it was a
Alternative
struggle.
narratives.
That was across the bear, you
Yeah.
know. I'm glad
Yeah,
I'm here.
but to
Yeah.
be fair,
Across the
also the
bear.
women in LA in those circles at the time were looking for.
They weren't looking for me.
They
Yeah.
were not.
But
No,
you know,
yeah.
I was going to allude to this situation. I mean, that led me to like my wake up call to where I was. Right.
Yeah.
I went out with that Laker girl and her friends, and I'm thinking like I'm got my Ohio best on, my
Oh,
South
shit.
Carolina best.
Correct.
And I'm like, damn, I'm about to go kill him, thinking I'm the man. And so, you know, they're with these guys that play ball or whatnot, and we're meeting up, and I'm the one guy with these like 6 girls.
Oh.
So, and I'm like so smiley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm already smiling.
Straight from Ohio.
Yeah, so
Happy
smiling.
to be
Like, oh, we about to go
here.
get, you know. I just drank a Four Loko or something like that. I don't know. I was
Out
like
of
lit.
control.
Right? So they all go into this club. We remember it, Guys and Dolls. So we are all walking in. Of course, I'm trying to be the gentleman. And I'm in the back because I'm
let
like, you
the
ladies
girls
first.
And they was like, you can't come in.
And then the security goes, who's the last one? And I'm like, walking in, do you know him? That ball player said name
no.
shall stay nameless.
I want to know.
I'll tell
Say
you.
it.
a
Off
little-
camera.
Was like, nah, I don't know him. And the girls let him
do
play me
it,
like
of
that.
Of course.
I said, I cannot
did.
believe it.
I will
and
not.
it was my birthday
Oh,
weekend.
no.
It lit a fire in me.
Yeah.
I said, this will never happen to me
Yeah.
ever again.
Yeah.
And I never forgot it.
Yep.
But what I will say about that night, Mom, Dad, if you're listening and watching, cover your ears.
Uh-oh.
That same Laker girl,
Yeah.
shall remain nameless,
I love this for her.
texted me and
I
said,
bet she did.
I'm coming out. She came out. Oh, wow.
I hope
I'm
you
really
did
putting
that.
myself in jam right here. Well, it's okay. I don't care. The statute of limitations has lifted.
Yeah, I was saying, what are you talking about? You know
So, wait, no, I'm just thinking about the
this
web.
shit
that-
rolled off your credit years ago.
Literally,
Okay.
so that girl comes out and she said, I'm going to take you out for your birthday. She takes me down to a strip club. I forget where it was on Sunset somewhere. Strip club, still there to this day when I drive by, I remember
Crazy girl.
where I came from. No, it wasn't Crazy Girls. It was the
Down more.
yeah, it was like not popping. She got me in a
Oh,
private
that
room.
one over there by the House of Blues.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Took me over to a private room and she said, do not tell anybody this happened. And that room became a bedroom that night.
The same one that said, I don't know him.
Yeah.
You learned, you learn lessons here in LA.
It's important.
That was a big
Now,
one.
Important
that
lesson.
same basketball player who shall remain nameless.
Yeah, that same redemption, the same one, literally was friends with one of my clients and dapped me up and said, oh, man, I can't afford you.
Oh, you can't. That's crazy.
Man, I had a real temptation
Yeah.
to like tell him, but I said, nah, because I'm
gonna
a
leave
classy
you.
person.
Yeah.
And
You
like,
left him where he was
what we
at.
say? The first shall be last and the last
Last
shall be first.
Man. So
That's facts.
You get here and you realize that like, oh shit, LA's a different.
It's a different beast. I'm not competing with John, Joe, and Mike. It's Brad Pitt, Kobe, and Shaq.
It's nasty out
Rest
here.
his soul.
Yeah, and so it lights a fire under you.
Lights a fire, lets me know where I'm at in life. Yo, I got to get it together. And for a moment, you have fun. But then you realize being around and having access will distract you. Because, like, very early, I was on private jets, doing a lot of things that were fun. Seeing a lot of people that I saw on the silver screens, TV screens. That was fun. But I was getting chauffeured back to my North Hollywood 2-bedroom apartment, which I was roommates with my god sister.
Yeah. Right.
And going to my job at Guess as a manager. So I said, I have to stop for a second, guys. Thank you for the opportunity, but I gotta go get it. I gotta go get it for myself. They respected that. Years later, it's all like a cyclical thing, full circle moment when you really like think about it.
Yeah.
So.
And so how do you get into now, X amount of years later,
Yeah.
being responsible for some of our favorite celebrities and athletes like Mike Conley, Rudy Gay, Jeff Green, DeLon Wright, Matt
Somebody did that
Barnes. Like,
research.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
your list is long. Orlando. Damn, that's
Yeah.
crazy. We've had a couple of your clients on the show.
Yeah, we had Orlando
Right?
too. Yeah.
Like how do you go from being the guy that is the athlete is shutting off to come into the club to being to the one that the athlete is calling?
Oh man, when you put it like that, it definitely hits. I paid my dues through that like year and a half, 2 years of doing 3 jobs just to get to do one. I had a corporate job, I had a retail job, I had an assistant job, and I was doing this all simultaneously while still working for free. Michael called me, said, yo, he saw something I did on TV with Eric that I didn't get paid for, by the way. He said, you ready? I said, for what? You come work for me. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I did. And that's what happened.
Wow.
And it's before the NBA was a thing to style people.
Well,
like, it was not a thing.
that's
like,
what I wanted to
it
talk
was
about.
not Instagram. It wasn't like it wasn't a thing. It was a slow cook. One Memorial Day, family cookout. Mike Conley is over the house with Michael Red, and He said, man, you got to check out what my brother-in-law be doing,
Yeah.
And months later, I was working at Tom James. Got fired.
What's Tom James? Sorry,
Tom James,
is that
a custom suit
brand?
company.
Okay.
And I wasn't really doing shit. So, like, they deserved to fire me.
Yeah.
September 4th, I just come back from vacation, Labor Day. My boss comes in, he says, you ready to get after it today? Yes. 15 minutes later, he calls me and says, so today's going to be your last day. And I was like, and he's like, we'll say that you quit. I was smart. I've been in LA for a minute. I was like, nah, fire me. So I get
Unemployment. Don't do
He's like,
that.
are you sure? I was like, yeah.
Don't act
fire
like
me.
you're doing me a favor.
Fire me. I go home. I don't get reception in my apartment. I go outside to call my mom and ask her, does she know anything about filing unemployment? Guess who calls me? Mike Conley. The moment I stepped outside, I'll never forget it. It was 2:13 p.m. He called me. He said, and I thought he forgot about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Called me. I hadn't heard from him for months. He said, man, so if I go to training camp, whoop, whoop, and how do we do this?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, well, how much is it going to cost? I literally gave him.
Did you even know how to price it?
Not for basketball in the way this was.
You were setting the
so
standard.
I literally was like, I lost my job for that amount.
You knew what you had.
You knew what you needed to make up.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like, I'm not going to go for gold here.
Yeah.
One turns into two,
Yeah.
two turns into three, and that's what it was. And I made all these lofty promises about being on GQ and doing all this other stuff, and it all came true.
Yeah.
And here we are.
That's fire.
Standing and living in your actual purpose.
Yeah.
So my next question for you is you have this collab with Hudson.
Thank you for your support, by the way.
Yes, of course. I'm always here to support because the story is I have been a stylist for many years.
Yes.
I've been in the game for 15 years, but I am new to sports.
I just want to give you your flowers. I've been a fan of your work, and Jonathan Logan, our good friend, and I would see there was actually this gray shawl collar leather jacket that you put.
Oh my God, that was
Harden.
Kevin's special.
And we made one for Matt after that. It was black.
you?
It was black, but
Yeah.
it was early on. And I remember I was like, whose jacket is this? And he's like, oh, that's for Kevin Harden. You know what I mean? It's stylist. And I was like, yo, that's fly. And that's how I first found out about who you were.
That's dope.
And I always thought you
never
were
knew
really
that.
good. So shout out to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it is stylists like Brandon, Rachel, Callie,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That have created this space in sports. That you were in a very different lane.
I was in a
Ash.
very different lane.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had watched you guys from afar and been like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to get into that space, but didn't have the opportunity. It just never came to me. And I was kind of playing my lane. I got this opportunity, and I'll never forget the first time I posted Donovan. And you hit me in my DMs, and you were like, welcome to the family or something like
man.
that. And I was like, that's dope. I respect the people who had come before me and created this lane. And so as someone who worked hard for the position that she had created within the entertainment industry, coming over here, I want to show respect to you guys.
sure.
So it's like the fact that you welcomed me, because a lot of people weren't as welcome.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not like that.
It's just not like that. And you were the first and only person to
Yeah.
do that. And I was like, I f- with
I
him.
mean, people were probably honestly being silent because they're scared.
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit, competition.
I experienced that, and then you hit me very sincerely and very just like, this is dope. Congrats. Like,
sure.
welcome. And
Look,
yeah.
specifically with Donovan too, there's a fit for everybody, right? And sometimes
Sorry, to be fair, as her friend, who was a part of this, it took
Yeah.
her a second to figure out his fit.
for sure, because
Yeah.
Remember in the
Yeah.
beginning?
It was a learning curve.
What it was. It's all of a sudden, instead of red carpets and posed and shoots, it was like, yo, if they don't catch it in this tunnel walk,
Yeah.
if it doesn't fit him when he has his right foot in front of his left,
Donovan's a shorter guy compared to lengthy kind of
Yeah.
guys and whatnot. So he's more stocky.
Yeah.
So his sizes are probably tweeners, and so that comes down to then finding brands and figuring out what the size grading is on that. I always thought he looked good from the jump.
What I had noticed, and just knowing Donovan, the seasons before, it was a stretch. They weren't dressing him for his
It was
own
wild.
personality.
It was wild. When it happened for you, I was like, good.
feels
It's
good.
I
Feels
know
good.
he's going to look good.
Yeah.
When you're good at what you do,
Thank
you know?
I know you guys speak pretty
I know.
candidly about things. Hudson's fashion brand.
Yeah, so Hudson's a heritage denim company. That's
Cool.
where their roots are.
Okay.
They're part of a conglomerate, Centric Brands, which owns Hervé Leger, Joe Jeans, Buffalo Jeans, favorite daughter, and Joe Jeans. And so Hudson is at one point in time their star.
Yeah.
They needed a rebrand. Ben Tabertini, who's like my mentor, reached out to me randomly and was just like, yo, not enough people have awareness of you, and I want to do whatever I can to help you. And so I'm thinking about doing a rebrand on Hudson, and I want to bring a collaboration that will do that. And so that's where my situation was born. And it, man, thanks to people like Ash, like and others, there's a pair of Hudson jeans or something Hudson literally almost every night in the NBA now or in a sport. And so to see that happen when it was a goal at a major company, it just makes it worth it. It gives me even more confidence to support other people. And it's an example to everybody else to do the same. To me, I am looking at bigger picture. I'm looking at my business acumen, my experience. It's like I'm trying to figure out how to provide a solution to the problem that is this career is not scalable. I'm not scalable.
Well, it's big. Like, I think in our world and what we do to do something like that, a collab like that with a brand like that, that's a goal. That's that's a benchmark.
A benchmark.
Those are goals that you aspire to. And so when I saw that you did that, I was like, yes, and I want some of it.
Thank you.
Come on.
I think that oftentimes we don't see support, whether it's in your industry or other industries, when people fear that what they're doing can be.
Man, fear is such a cancer, man.
Man.
It is like such a cancer, and you can't really even love yourself or your life with like lack of trust. And trust is really the foundation of love. If you don't trust your talent, you don't trust your work, you don't trust your place or your purpose, you can't trust any opportunity. So you always are operating from a place of fear. You're trying to strangle and hold on to something that is meant to be passed on, meant to grow. I'm not worried about getting a client, because guess what? I have infinite reach now, because I have your clients, I have her clients, his clients, all his clients, and now I can give opportunity. Like, I'm about to call you back into Hudson, and we're gonna curate some Ashley North stuff underneath the things that we already built. That's my vision. And we might even just take over the whole sports situation.
I mean, let's try.
I like you that much. And I think you're that dope. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
All right, so I just gotta bring it all around.
Okay.
Boom. Ohio.
Yes.
Go work at Goodyear. Not my people. Move to LA. Find my people.
Find my people.
Oh shit. You gotta move a certain way out here, because these people are all fighting for something. Identify that my integrity means more than anything.
Yes.
Realize, oh shit, having that integrity and working hard works.
Facts. I mean, you still gotta be with the shits too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
There's like a balance.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be able to be in the room, man.
Yeah.
There's a scripture that says it's like we're called to be in the world, but not of it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be a light in these dark areas.
Oh my God, my favorite moments are when you can recite Bible verses. It's actually like literally the joy
I
in
went
my
to
life.
Christian school.
I know, but sometimes I forget. You forget. Yeah.
Yeah, without the religious overtone or like faith overtone.
Bring the religious overtone. By the way,
we
we all sit here be able to speak about that because we have that foundation.
It's the foundation, right? Like, I just want the intention to be better. It's not my argument to talk to you about policy or whatever, but it is my plight to give you an experience of an example that will inspire a better version of you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. That's it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
We're dropping bars today.
Duh, that's
Like,
what we do over here.
I hope some applicable women are like listening or like,
They
damn.
are. Oh, Ask Ashley is full of applicable women.
What's up, ladies?
Listen.
We leaving that part.
God don't give you nothing you can't handle.
Sometimes he does.
Sometimes it's a test.
Sometimes
I'm ready for
You got to go through the fire.
Fuck. Good thing it's not red.
No, it's not.
It's blue.
Hypnotic doesn't
Fuck
stand.
you.
Are you drinking Hypnotic?
Close.
Alizé.
Oh my God, we used to drink that blue stuff.
I used to drink blue Alizé.
Nasty.
Wow, headaches.
No wonder.
Like, I'm from Ohio, so when I was getting lit for very early life, like times in my life, it was like Long Island iced teas.
What? I used to love a Long Island iced tea.
When's the last time
First
you
of all, you guys are actual alcoholics. Anybody that drinks Long Island,
in Ohio.
Yeah,
No.
Your drink is the only one that's blue.
I'm not even about to let them just get me off this topic. Anybody that drinks Long Island iced teas,
We were young.
deserves.
I wanted to get it done quick. But like for a long time, me and Long Island Iced Teas had an amazing relationship.
Because you could have literally one. It was the cheapest way to get where you needed to be.
Oh my God.
You could have one
Honestly,
and be done.
You know what would be nostalgic? If like at one point, I don't even know what it would do to us at this point in life.
I'll die.
So, obviously you're pretty fashionable yourself.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Does that make dating complicated?
For who?
For you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't think that like a woman enjoys unless she's asked. Like it's not dope to be giving your opinion unwarranted about like an appearance that might not meet your standards. My job as your dude is to enrich you, uplift you, look at what you do well and point that out so that you feel like your best self.
Are you dating a woman that can't dress? Like
I would never be attracted to. I would
never
never be attracted to what I'm not attracted to. So if you are wearing crazy shit, no.
So you're different than most niggas because a lot of them will like
her body fine. I don't give a
her body's good. Yeah. She could be basic as fuck.
Like she can have the blogger outfit on the first date.
Okay.
And then after that,
blogger outfit is better than basic.
So that every basic girl can cheat it.
Okay.
The spandex and she had a body and a little dad hat.
It's easier for girls to cheat it than
don't show up in some aloe or some Lululemon with some Yeezys and you got all body and you got a dimple. Hey, you're gonna catch Brandon Williams slipping.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to go somewhere.
It's a fact that Brandon likes basic bitches in aloe. As long as you have on some Yeezys
for the first
ladies,
date.
If you're interested.
For the first date, you can get away with it. But like once we get into some daytime dates,
yeah,
I'm gonna see it for what it is. And you know, I have a 3 and out rule.
What does that mean?
3 and out rule is like you can't do anything 3 or more times without having a serious conversation.
Okay. Wait,
I don't like to leave
3 strikes, you're out.
Because honestly, for me, I end up being the guy that girls switch it up on. Like you could be like outside and in the streets, and then you come and kick it with me, and you want to act like, can we go out? Can we go to Soho?
You can come
like, huh?
after.
Like you were just the fast.
Whatever.
What?
Yeah.
Like why me?
All right, so Shorty could be wearing whatever. He gonna holler.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll holler, and I'll give her a benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
but by the third time,
no, the first time, the second date is when I realized like, oh, this is what you do.
Yeah.
And that's when we start having like clothing conversations.
Got it.
So then, much like us, we believe like you can change someone's wardrobe.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do that unless she asked me to, because that comes off very like demeaning to a woman if you're a man that has like,
only because it's your profession. I think.
Only because. However, like, you know what I'm saying? I want my woman to think that like it's.
Nah, I think I try to get every guy I date to hire Ashley. I don't know what you mean.
She does.
I don't.
That's because you love your friend.
No,
it's because she doesn't like the way they dress.
Okay, I'll give you that. But like, what if you ran into somebody that you liked the way they dressed?
Great.
Good.
Perfect. Then there's no need to need Ashley. But
9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10, it's rare.
I'm attracted to like looks. Like fashion matters, but like fine woman is a fine woman. Is this like do I need to adjust this situation? What? Should I address my approach? Maybe.
Hang on. Let me just tell you something. So the relationship coach came on and she explains the way that you should look for a partner. The first things that you worry about are like, is this a good fucking person?
Okay.
What are the 5 core traits that if I was dating them or not, I would say that's a good human being.
Got you.
Mm-hmm. The next part that you should worry about is this a place where I can be successful in a relationship?
Wow.
Do they make me feel like I can be here and want to show up here? Do they feed me in a way that makes me a good partner?
Got you.
Mm-hmm. And then the third thing you look for is, am I physically attracted to them?
Yes, that matters.
And she, as a relationship coach, will say that is important.
Hell yeah.
And what are the 5 things that make you physically attracted to a man? One of the things that make me physically attracted to a man is a man that dresses well.
I understand.
I value a man that cares about what he looks like when he walks out of the house. Not because I'm super stylish or super fashionable or any of that, but I come from a household where you go to church, you wear this. You go to school, you wear this.
Yeah.
You go out to play, you wear this. These are
Come on
house
now.
clothes, these are play clothes, these
Talk
are
about
school
it.
clothes. I come from that. Now, how fashionable or where the clothes came from was not
Irrelevant,
a thing.
Yeah.
But you present yourself to the world
Facts.
in a way.
Yeah.
Right? Not necessarily my mother, but my grandmother. You don't leave without your nails painted, earrings in your ear, and something on your lips.
Man, you taking it back.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You don't want the girl that's wearing aloe everywhere. I don't care. Aloe's
No,
an expensive workout
okay, now
brand.
that you have given me, you
It's
gave
expensive.
no, but listen,
It's
They
nice,
hold
but
their shape.
but you listen, you gave me you gave me context to this.
Yeah.
Yes, image and presentation is very important, and I think the clothing of it is secondary to the intent of it.
Right.
But to reevaluate it, yes, it does matter. I do care that someone cares, just like I care about a woman who cares about being impactful. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily
those are
rich.
things you care about.
Yeah, I do care about it. Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like, the way,
You
yeah.
didn't wake up this morning and just grab
We're not
pants
aligned.
and grab
Yeah,
shirt. and grab-
we're not gonna do that. And I can't even be with a woman. And I've dealt with this. So somebody try to like devalue like my manhood. Ladies, y'all gotta stop that. Listen, if a guy's put together and all these
Yeah.
things, you gotta stop emasculating this.
Yeah.
If it doesn't come in the form of an athlete or a rapper or an actor or just
Yeah.
a D-boy or whatever the F, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's not
It's okay to
feminine.
take care of yourself.
It's not. It's called being fly, being a man.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't like a guy who cares about what he wears more than me. And da-da-da-da-da. I'm like,
What?
well then,
Okay, then you don't care enough. Good
Exactly.
day.
facts.
You're right. Ashley, what time is it?
It's question time.
What time is it?
It's question time.
So, I want to go first.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No, I don't.
My question for you is,
What's up?
if
So-
Ashley and I were to say, hey, give us your ex's phone number.
Okay.
We call her.
Yeah.
We say, hey, girl, come over here to ask Ashley.
Mm.
We said, hey, how was your relationship with Brandon?
Yes.
What would your ex say?
She would say Brandon is a liar.
Yes, Brandon.
Brandon
yes,
is-
with the honesty.
Brandon's a liar.
Brandon.
Brandon's a liar. He is selfish. You know, all these things. She would.
So you guys didn't end well.
No, we didn't. I ended it. I mean, I say all that to say this. Like,
Did
that's
you
the
cheat?
truth. No, I didn't. But I might as well have.
Oh yeah.
might
as well have
Yeah.
Cheated on you.
Boom, boom. Boom,
As
boom.
much as you accuse me
Me
of
of
cheating,
cheated. I
boom,
might
boom,
as well
boom,
have
boom,
lied
boom,
to
boom, boom.
you.
because what?
Boom, boom,
As
boom.
much as you accuse me of
boom,
lying, I
boom,
might as
boom,
well
boom, boom.
have
No,
gone
facts.
to the club.
What?
As
Much as you accuse me
Yeah.
of clubbing,
Yeah.
I might as well.
Yeah, it's just real.
Keisha.
You know? No, that's facts.
That's a song.
I did lie. I told white lies. I was like a repetitious white lie teller. And understanding like that part of me was like really key to understanding like why I wasn't successful. I did it with a good intention.
That's
Like,
to be honest, that's usually what white lies
Yeah,
are.
I would say
White
that,
lies are very rarely like just
I was
intentional.
in
like,
fear that I
lies.
couldn't say the real, even though the real wasn't damaging. I just was so like
Yep.
kind of like conditioned to the dysfunction, and I didn't want to have it, and so I was trying to make it better. And I'll just never be in a situation like that ever again because I'm not that guy anymore. So it won't ever be built on anything that's a show. You feel me? So yeah,
How
she
long
would
ago was this?
like 5 years ago, 5.5 years
okay.
ago.
Have you? So have you been actually single for 5 years?
Mhm. But I'm happy. It might be longer than that now.
I am just someone that enjoys my independence. It's been 8 years since I've had to be held accountable for things like it's damn near midnight right now.
And
Is it?
Yeah,
but
to be midnight, to be tired because we have been here since 9:45 in the morning.
yeah.
To not want to have to go home and have a conversation with somebody, but maybe just take a shower and go in bed.
Yeah, but
The moment you're in a relationship, you are responsible for hitting someone when you get home, having the conversation about your day, doing all that shit that I am just
I
not.
don't know. You're not wrong, But I've learned I'm not obligated to tell you anything. But because I'm respectful of the relationship, I'm going to tell you what's up. But it's no consequence to the fact of like the quality of our relationship or my trust or anything like that. And when you are so honest and transparent, it is a magnifying glass to people who have stuff going on with them. So I'm just going to say that.
I agree. And I do think that in the past 8 years, I've been dating people in which I can say it's who I am.
Okay.
But that has no bearing on what I believe the responsibilities are as a partner to show up in a relationship. Whether it is me or what I'm comfortable with or whatever, I do understand that if you decide to share your life with someone, there are things that you should do.
If you really want that, you should have no problem doing that.
No, I don't have a problem with doing it. My issue is that I have to.
You don't have to. You need to rework that. You don't have to. And
That's
you
what he said.
You need to trust
He
the fact
wants
that
to
you
take
don't.
the have
You don't have
out
to
of it.
do that. That's your other relationship.
Well, before we leave here, we're
If that's
going
the
to
case.
actually tap into your emotional side.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge.
Everybody, woosah, reset.
We may cry. We may shed tears.
Reset.
Who is someone that you are currently really missing?
Oh, okay. Good question. So recently, I missed my friend Paige.
Oh.
My friend Paige, she passed away recently.
Oh.
Damn.
She was a woman that I really thought was perfect. And of course, none of us are perfect. But like when I saw her, when I was around her, that's the word that came to mind because of her pure energy. She loved me like a lot. Like she believed in me the way I believe in myself. You know what I'm saying? And she was like so beautiful. Like she was art, honestly, like just art. And I couldn't tell her enough times, you know, when we were in the same space, like how I felt, you know. Thankfully, like I was able to always communicate that. And partially because like that's the confidence she gave me. And yeah, she was like one of the most beautiful people I know. You know,
How did she pass?
it's really kind of undetermined. It was sudden. You know, she was in good health. It's just an unfortunate situation, I think. But regardless, I take that situation as tragic as it may be. You know, I'm affected in a good way, even in tragedy. To just really not take anything for granted. So like really stay in the moment, honor it, because it could disappear. So shout out to Paige, love her.
What do you
That's
miss
great.
most?
I miss Paige's ability to, we would be kicking it and we could be talking about whatever. And I'm a deep person. You know what I mean? I like to talk about all this stuff. So she could stop in the middle of like the conversation, no matter what it is, and just make sure everybody in that room believed in what I was saying just as much as like I believe in it. And she was just like such a cheerleader.
She was
And
supportive.
no one asked her to do that. That was our relationship. She gave me back what I gave her. And that was one of the rare
beautiful.
situations that was like apparent or present. So I want to give exactly what's in my heart to give because you just never know.
Yeah.
Brandon, listen, thank you. Thank you for coming,
you.
sharing about a bit about your career, opening up personally, just reminding us all what it is to be a genuine supporter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If anybody watching wanted to find out more about you,
Yeah.
all the projects you're working on, where can they find you?
Instagram is Brand Wells, and you can go to a Saks, a Neiman's, a Nordstrom's, a Bloomingdale's, or any specialty retail shop and get my jean collection with my name on it.
Sick.
Yeah.
It's dope.
Dope. So you guys definitely check him out. Thank you so much for coming by,
thank you.
shooting
Thank
the
you guys
shit
for
with
having
us.
me.
We appreciate it. Till next week.
Bye.